Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, I'll just grab a quick video here and show you what I'm working on. Working on putting sickle sections onto the cutter bar. And this is actually on our R52 combine up there. Hopefully you can see it halfway decent looking through the reel. But 20-foot head. Okay, and this sickle here I've put in, and it's in, like, I think, if I remember right, 3 sections. So you got the splice bar that connects the actual cutter bar together, and I think there's another splice bar on down the way there. But this is a SCH sickle system. And I really like the SCH. It's done good for us. And what it's got, compared to a lot of the other ones out there, is a roller system. And yeah, right there's one. What that does is it rides down in there, and your cutter bar just pushes back against that, and so it just really rolls back and forth like that. A lot of your different systems, in fact, I'm trying to think now. I think SCH is the only one that actually has that roller system. Pretty much all your other cutter bar setups have a what they call a wear plate. And basically it just sits right here. Well, like I said, it's completely different. But basically right here where your guards go, because these are SCH guards, you have that spacer piece right there that goes under the guard. And basically, well, I guess that right there is a good way to show it. Right there where that little spacer block is, right there's one. Because that one goes there, then the guard goes in and bolts down. But the wear plate, for example, on pretty much all your other type of sickle setups, you put a wear plate right beneath that, put that on top of it, and that wear plate is, oh, I'm guessing probably 1/16 of an inch thick. And the front edge of it is actually cornered at a 90-degree bend. So it sticks down probably about 1/8 of an inch. And that's what the cutter bar simply just rubs against that wear plate. Well, you can imagine as you're going through, hitting dirt and that kind of stuff, it's not going to take long to find where that wear through that wear plate. Whereas with the SCH roller system, all that is eliminated. And you have top rollers and bottom rollers. This here's a top, and so it's got that little lip on the top side. This one right here is a bottom roller, so that little lip is on the bottom side, and the back of the sickle section rides on that. And this one right here sits in there just like that. And so that way it keeps the cutter bar right in the center. It can't ride up. It can't ride down. And so they all work together. But like I say, I'm trying to remember now. This bean head we got back in 2011, come to think of it. Because it was back in 2011 when my dad and I got a second R52 Gleaner combine. And we had that up until we got that R72. Back in 2018. But when we sold that second 52 that we had bought in 2011, because it had a bean head that came with it, and this here is the bean head. I kept the bean head that we had got with that one, and the bean head that came with that combine back when my dad and uncle bought this one here back in 1995, I sold that one with that other combine. And mainly because this head here was just newer, and so I kept the newer head for this 93 52 that we've had since 1995. Gotta watch you don't break them little bolts off. It takes a 10mm socket to fit them. And so, back when we got this head back in 2011, if I remember right, I actually I converted this one here from, I think it was the old Gleaner Agco setup with the wear plates, and I converted it over to the SCH bar, guards, and roller setup. Now, this head still has the Gleaner, what they call the Wobble Box, and that's what actually drives the sickle itself. That's that little guy right in there. And it works great, so I just left it. However, on our 35-foot head, got semis rolling by on the highway. On our 35-foot head that we run on the R72 that I've got videos of from, well, harvesting wheat. No, not wheat, rye. We did the wheat with the old Gleaner M3. I did the rye with the R72 and 35-foot head. But on that 35-foot head, it's got the same cutter bar setup also. However, on that one, when we got that thing back in 2018, it had what I call the early version of the SCH. And instead of having wear plate, or I guess wear plates, it had, I guess you could call it like a wear bar. And it was a bar like this that simply wore against the back of the cutter bar. Now that wore a lot longer. I mean, it lasted longer. But when we got it, I updated it to the SCH roller, which is so much better. And also on that head, in fact, I think it's pretty much standard on Gleaner. I think John Deere runs them also. But down there on the end, instead of having the old Wobble Box setup, it's got the SCH gearbox drive, and which is so much better. You just get a lot less vibration, and it's a lot better setup. And I'm assuming, I've not looked at one, but I'm assuming the draper heads that have the conveyor belts, I'm assuming they run all SCH setup also. In fact, if I remember right, the Gleaner dealer that we worked through, Plevna Implement out of Kokomo, Indiana, it seems like they told me that all the newer Gleaner bean heads, SCH is pretty much standard on all of them now. And so it sounds like Gleaner runs all SCH cutter bar, which also means I'm assuming that that is included on the what they call the Dynaflex draper head with the conveyor belts. And I'm assuming McDon, they're big into draper heads as well. Come on, get in there. Try and get that dumb thing spread open to pop over top them little bolt heads. Come on. In fact, most of the time what I do is I leave it. There we go. Is I leave the guards on, but for that section right there, I actually needed to have the guard off. And before I jump too far ahead of myself, let me take and roll this auger and move that sickle over. I might as well go ahead and take that one out before I go tightening the guards back down. And since that's right above the splice, it does not have a little jam nut on the bottom. And so, like I say, I don't know if John Deere's switched over to running all SCH as well. Same thing with Case. I don't know about them. But like I said, I know, if I remember, I'm pretty sure the AGCO dealer told me that Gleaner now runs all SCH cutter bar system. And with the SCH, it lets the the cutter bar actually drive a lot easier, because it's not pushing back against a solid piece of metal where you just have bare metal running back and forth. It's simply just up against a roller, and so it takes less power to drive it, because the whole entire thing is rolling. But all of my SCH parts and that kind of stuff, I actually get through a place called Manchester Farm Center. Get that little bolt down through there. Come on, let's go. Out of North Manchester, Indiana. And it works good because they're always good about getting everything I need. And which is actually, I go through them for pretty much all of my standard parts I need: combine parts, chains, sickle sections, any of that general wear type stuff like that, they can get for me, and it's always a lot cheaper than Agco is. And one nice thing, they have a delivery route, and so they'll bring it right to me, free of charge. Okay, there's that one. Get that flipped around. Okay, well, look good underneath. And there's how that roller sits in there. Put the bolt through and then it just goes right on top of the guard and rides just like that, right up against the back of the sickle. Well, technically it's not riding against the actual sickle bar itself. It actually runs on the back of the sickle section, but that don't hurt anything. That's how it's made. Alrighty, there's that one. Just gotta jump over here because I had some of them marked with a piece of soapstone. In fact, right there's one that's actually missing a tooth. However, the rest of the cut of the sickle itself seems to be pretty good. So, for just one tooth, a little chunk right there, no big deal. Now, if that was clear back here into the main part of the sickle, I'd probably go ahead and change it, but it still feels pretty good. It's not worn very thin. Still got some thickness to it, so that'll be just fine. In fact, I'm going to have to get me some more sections. We actually got these here from a neighboring farmer up east of us who had a gleaner combine, and he had a bunch of spare parts on hand, so we bought all the old parts off of him, and he had actually bought these sections through the Agco dealership over at Kokomo. And I'd say he probably paid double, or at least 1/4 more than Manchester Farm Center. Okay, should be able to take and slide the yard sideways and simply roll the sickle one way or the other. There we go. Oh, I know why I did that one marked. That one's getting kind of dull. So might as well go ahead and change that one out also. But it's still going to be a little while before we can actually combine beans. In fact, no, you probably can't see it too well. Out there beyond that wagon, there's my big disc and crumbler. You can see those beans out there. Yeah, they're turning, but they still got some yellow in them, so they got a little ways to go yet. Now there is actually a bean field that is right across the road from my mom and dad's house. Now that one has really turned. In fact, actually a lot of the leaves have actually dropped off of it. And so give that one a good, I'd say probably close to a week and a half, and it'll be ready to roll. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to video this whole thing because it's just going to be kind of repetitive. But I figured I'd go ahead and grab a little video here of what's happening. So, hey, take care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.